So for those of you who may or may not be informed, but I'm guessing you probably do know at this point, Jerry Seinfeld, for whatever reason, was the keynote speaker at Duke University over the weekend. I mean, why not? Because Duke is considered the Ivy League of the South. That is what it is known for. It goes without saying that he is as disconnected from regular people as anybody. But never forget, it's Larry David who created Seinfeld. That's a fact.
Jerry is also serving as our commencement speaker today. So, what's the big deal about our commencement speaker?
Now, I can't tell if they're booing Seinfeld or if they're booing the Free Palestine students who are walking out. But remember this, guys. You think about the universities where a lot of this brouhaha has been taking place. Duke, USC, Columbia. These are some of the most elite institutions in the world. Cost, prestige. That to me has a lot to do with this. That's why somebody like Seinfeld is asked to be a keynote speaker at a school like that. You think that they're going to have Jerry Seinfeld be the keynote speaker at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, which is one of the best state institutions in the country? No, he's not going to speak there, but he is going to speak at a school like Duke. That's the difference here, guys. And as I pointed out earlier, Jerry Seinfeld has the detractors that he has. Not because he's Jewish, but because he's a Zionist and he's supporting Israel's genocide of the Palestinian people. Here he is posing with an IDF soldier with tons of weapons surrounding him in Israel. And this was, I want to say, a couple of months ago. But as you can see, it is true that the Israel lobby is running out of ideas. What more do they have now? You're booing Jerry Seinfeld because he's Jewish? That's the answer you come up with? That's the reason they don't want to hear from him? Come on. At least try to come up with an excuse. And I'll tell you something else. I would like to pretend that the reason why his Netflix movie Frosted, which is the biggest bomb, yes, the biggest bomb in the history of Netflix. No movie that has been given as much money in advertising to watch as I'm not even going to see the name of the movie because who the hell wants to put any ideas in anybody's head to even go watch it anyway? But the point is, it is the biggest flop in the history of Netflix. And I'd like to believe one of the big reasons why it flopped is because Amy Schumer is one of the stars. I mean, come on, man. I mean, that is absolutely incredible. Why don't people like my comedy? Maybe I'm just not that funny. And what is the deal with the IDF not killing all of the, all the people over there so we can live in paradise? Why do I pretend like I'm a tough guy? I'm really just a sissy Mary who likes to pick up teenage girls when they're in high school and I'm in my 30s. That's true. He is, listen, I'm not going to say he's a pederast. I'm not going there, but he is kind of creepy. And I remember that story. I remember it very well. I didn't really watch Seinfeld because, again, I'm a child of the 80s. I did grow up at that time when Seinfeld was becoming a really big phenomenon in the early mid-90s. But I don't know what it was that I didn't get about Seinfeld. But I'll tell you what I do remember. I didn't like Jerry Seinfeld. I didn't like that stupid smirk on his face every time he was on camera because he can't keep it together. The show is brilliant, but it's brilliant because of Michael Richards, because of Jason Alexander, because of Julia Louis-Dreyfus. and because of Wayne Knight, and especially because of Jerry Stiller. That's why that show was as great as it was. It had nothing to do with Jerry at all. The brainchild of that show was Larry David. Now, I don't know where Larry David stands, but I know that he's not out there promoting what Israel is doing right now. And Jerry is. He is all the way in. And it's not just him. His wife has been raising money for the pro-Israel counter-protests in the tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. First of all, let me ask you this. Why would she need to raise any money at all? He's worth over $1 billion. Why not just write a check for $1 million? They probably have, but they want to try to get as much money as they possibly can. Why stop with a little when you can have it all? That's why you get people like Jared Kushner that sit on the boards at the Harvard Business, at the Kennedy School, Harvard Business, talking about how, that land, that beachfront land in Gaza could really be something special. You know what I mean? First, we have to blow it to smithereens and get all of the natural gas that's underneath the soil. And then once that's done, then we build our coastal paradise. We've mass murdered, what'll probably amount to at least 100,000 people, maybe more. But you got to do what you got to do. It's business. And when you talk about the atrocities that happen, and there was a very good point that was brought up the other day. I was at a private function that Mehdi Hassan actually was the keynote speaker of. And the one thing that Mehdi said, which he is correct about, was when he addressed the fact that when Trump was president, yes, he didn't start any new wars, but he did drone the shit out of a hell of a lot of people, especially those people in Yemen. Now, Yemen is not something that he started. That's something that goes back to Obama, and that is something that has gone even worse with Biden. But Trump's hands are not clean of any of this shit because no administration is. The war machine is what it is. And when people like Mr. Seinfeld, or as I believe Linda pointed out at the top of the show, Zionfeld, which I think is perfect name, Jerry Seinfeld. Make sure you get it, guys. Write it down. Jerry Seinfeld. That's his name. I petition that we change his name to Jerry Seinfeld. That's who he should be. Why do people always try to make fun of my name? My name is Jerry Seinfeld, not Zionfeld. Stop trying to make me out to be somebody I'm not. Why do I think I'm funny? But I'm really just a schmuck. Because you are Jerry Seinfeld. Useless. Another useless, washed up, over-the-hill comedian who is never going to see his Mets win a World Series in his lifetime, no matter how much money he spends on those front row seats. Yeah, that's right. I know all about Jerry's very large swath of tickets that he buys every season in the most exclusive areas of the stadium. I did work for the New York Mets right out of college back in 2007. It was my first job in corporate America. And Jerry Seinfeld had his 8 premium box seats right at third base, between third base and home. You're never going to win. I think the Mets are cursed by Jerry Seinfeld. It's true. It's unfortunate. But I do believe these days, for the people like Seinfeld, in terms of their sway, are numbered. I do.